Hey everybody, I thought I would do a tutorial tonight on how to use alcohol inks on tiles. I purchased some new pearl inks from Holtz that I thought would be really beautiful. So far my experimentation has not gone very well with them though. They seem to dry very quickly once they get on the tile, and they don't like to move around like alcohol inks typically would. So I think on this try, I'm going to just put my color down and maybe add this as an accent once I get the colors moved around. These were a set of 3 that I purchased, and the green color is called Sublime, the pink is Intrigue, and then the Tranquil is the turquoise color. So what I've done, I have a whole box of alcohol ink, and I pulled kind of the same, basically I think pretty close to the same colors. So I have Pool that should go with this turquoise color, and then I have Raspberry, which is very close to the pink, and then I also have Citrus, which should be really close to the green. And then I also pulled Wild Plum because it's like a more purple color. So I'm hoping that will add a little bit more contrast as well. And then I also have the Pitch Black alcohol ink as well. I always feel like black is kind of a nice color to add as some contrast in it. They are taped on the back because they will get resin. And then I have also wiped them down with alcohol wipes. The nice thing about using tiles and alcohol ink is if you don't like it, you can wipe it off and do it again. I've already tried 2 different things with this tile. Hopefully the third one is the charm. But the nice thing is I didn't really ruin the tile. I was careful to try not to get it on the sides, but I'll just make sure that my color does go over the sides when I do get the combination that I like. And then that way when it gets resined, it'll still be pretty. So I've done a lot of card making in the past, and I have a lot of items from card making that has kind of been nice to like use it in my paint pouring. The alcohol inks are one of those things. So the pearl inks I did just purchase because they just recently came out, but I had all these other colors of inks, and I've done other things that were kind of what I would call Holtz inspired, if you will. And this, I realized when I was getting ready to do this project, is kind of my inspiration sort of, because it's very similar to the colors that I had purchased in the alcohol inks. So it even has the black in there too. So what I'm going for is just like a really pretty background for the coaster. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is spritz some alcohol onto the top of the tile just to kind of get the surface wet. And then I want to start by laying down some of my alcohol inks. And I think in between each color, I do want to blow it a little bit. So I'm going to put a little more alcohol ink on it to make sure that it is, a little more alcohol so that it's wet. And I want to turn it so that my pattern's not going the same way. And what I will tell you is when you're blowing, don't suck air through the straw, because you don't want to like suck in all those alcohol fumes. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to add is the raspberry. And once again, just kind of adding color on top of that. And I'm pretty sure that my alcohol is still wet, so I'm going to blow this again. And turn it. And you can see that where it kind of blends into the other color, it kind of creates like a purple color as well. So I don't think I'm really going to need that wild plum color, because I kind of feel like I've already achieved that. Although I'm kind of thinking that I may not use the green, and I may add the pearl on the very top of that. So let's spritz this one more time just to get it wet, and maybe put in some of this wild plum. And it's very possible that I may have to come back and add more of the teal color, more of the pink. I'm just kind of working in layers right now and kind of adding color on top of color, which is a really neat effect that you can achieve with the alcohol inks. And I'm going to pick this up so you guys can see this a little bit closer. There's really some neat effects. It looks very layered and kind of cell-like actually. That's actually looking pretty cool. I think what I would like to do is add maybe just a little bit more of the pool color, because I feel like it kind of did get a little bit lighter as I was blowing and adding more alcohol to it. So I just want to come back in here and I want to make sure that my tile is covered with color. And I also want to make sure that the colors are going over the edge. And I think instead of spritzing, I'm just going to add a little bit of alcohol just in these spots where it's white, just to kind of try to keep the color from not moving too much, because I really love what I have going on here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of alcohol because that'll help me to move that ink around. Okay, and then I want to add, I'm just going to continue to add color. This is more of the raspberry, and I just want to fill in some of these areas where it's just a little bit lighter now. And I think I'll come back in with just a little bit of plum. And I haven't actually put any of that black on here, but I'm not sure that I really need it. We'll see once I get this kind of, I want to make sure that all of my surface is colored, I guess, is what I'm going for right now. And as you blow, you'll see like these little strands that kind of float out into the other colors. And I think that's kind of neat myself. And I do know that from the other ones that I did, when I had those little strands, once it was resined, it looked really neat. And I've got some alcohol here, so I'm going to blow this one. I think that's looking pretty good. I don't think I want to put the black on there. I'm kind of curious, but I really kind of love how this looks right now. So I think what I'll do is maybe try to put a little bit of this Sublime Pearl color on it. But I want to kind of be careful about, I don't want really big blobs on it if I can help it. And I think I'm going to get them because I'm not sure that I can shake out just little blobs. But that's okay. Kind of like that. And it's actually reacting with the color that's down there. So I think this was definitely the way to use these guys. And it almost creates cells once it hits some of those other colors too. So I guess right now I just want to make sure that I have that color kind of dispersed all over the tile. And I think what we're going to do is kind of let that sit and dry and see if we still like it. Let me pull it up so you can see it. I think it's very pretty when it's right here on this turquoise. It kind of turned this kind of reddish, so I'm hoping as it dries, it'll kind of change it a bit more. And I think I could possibly put a little more color right there because I don't really love that. I don't love how it almost looks like a worm there, I guess. But I do think it created some neat stuff, and it definitely gives me that bling factor that I was looking for. And I wonder if I should go in with the other pearl color or if I should stick with my regular ink. I think I might stick with the regular ink, and I may try to do this pool because the pool and the green seem to react nicely together. So I'm just going to put that there, and hopefully that will kind of leach out and kind of cover up some of that redness, and it looks like that's working. And I've got a lot of redness right here too. So I'm thinking, I think what I might try there is the citrus and just the regular ink, and possibly just put a dot of that there and see if that'll move out some of that redness. Wow, that's really interesting. That's actually quite pretty because now that pool is actually shimmering too because of the pearl that's underneath it. So I think that's really good. I kind of like that. I do want to make sure that I get my color on my sides though, because I'm pretty happy with how that looks. So I'm just going to take some of my color here, and I might just put it on my finger and try to kind of bring it down over the corners and the edges, just to make sure that I do have color on the sides, because I think that's important, especially with a coaster. I think it's important to have the sides look pretty too, because as it's sitting on a table, you don't want someone to like come up and look at it and say, wow, that's pretty, until you get to the edge of it. So I'm just going to take my finger and kind of go along the edges of it a little bit and make sure that I've got that covered. And I think we'll put a little bit of this right here and kind of come over the edge and let it just drip over the edge too. And then that will also kind of get the top of it looking pretty too. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this and make sure that wherever I have a little bit of the pool coming to the edge of it, I want to make sure that that goes over the edge onto the side of it as well. And that's looking pretty good. All right. So that's pretty interesting, guys. I'm going to continue to work. Feel free to fast forward if you like, but there's a close-up of this one. And then at the end, I will definitely show you all 4 of them and how they turn out. But if you'd like to fast forward, please feel free. In fact, I may just go ahead and speed the video up just a little bit so that you don't have to painfully watch me do all 4 coasters. So I will try not to talk so that you don't hear me talking in the midst of this as well. All right, and I don't know if you noticed that in the video, if you were fast forwarding, you probably didn't. My final thing that I did was just to spritz the alcohol mist over the top of it, and I think that really added kind of a neat dimension to it that I think will end up being quite pretty. And hopefully you guys can see the shimmer that's created by that green pearl. And I may go back and, before I resin these guys, I might go back and add just a little bit of that in, possibly with a toothpick maybe, just to get a little bit finer dots on some of these. My goal was to try to make them look all the same. I'm going to spritz this one though before I show you all of them. So just kind of staying up pretty high and just letting a light spritz go down, and you can see how it kind of takes away some of that and creates those little spots. Okay, so let me pull this one back down here. And there's the 4 coasters together. Hopefully at the end of this video, I can show you what they look like when they're resined. Okay, I am back to show you how the coasters turned out. Oh, look, Charlie's putting a shadow on here. Can you say hi, Charlie? Say hello, everybody. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so you can see that they kind of changed a bit. I think they changed quite a lot, actually, after they were poured. And they became, I think the colors became a lot darker. Charlie, you're going to have to move, buddy. The colors became darker and more concentrated, I feel. But they really do have, I'm hoping I can get this so that it shows the sparkle. And I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to see, to show that to you. But they really do have a lot of metallic sheen in them where I used that ink. Let me see if I can pick it up and show it to you. If I get it in just the right light. But they really did pick up the sheen, and I love the little pearl look that it has to it. They did change quite a bit as they dried, I feel like, and now they have their resin on them. So these will sit for 30 days, and then they will be fully cured to the heat resistance. And Charlie's saying hello again. Do you approve, Charlie? Let's see if we can get Charlie's head out of there. Hi, Charlie. Can you say hi? He's kind of stuck up. All right, guys, so that is the finished product of the 4 coasters. These will sit for 30 days, and then they'll be heat resistant up to the 475 degrees. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks so much for watching.